Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in a shed. The Detroit Lions continue to pile the mystery men on, and you know what? Hey, it's been working, and we're not going to get any better than that. And some of these guys, man, are scrappy. They've made an impact on our team. We've got some roster moves and a move that the Detroit Lions may still make, even though they brought this dude in for a workout yesterday. But before we get to him, let's get to the information. And Lord, I keep using the wrong transition and it's driving me crazy. Cameron Wolf states that the Lions are signing veteran slot QB or CB, Arthur Maulet to their active roster per source. He's no doubt going to fill in and take that Brian Branch spot. Maulet is in the building today. He played 6 games for the Lions earlier this season with a crucial INT versus the Bucs, and that is 100% facts. We actually waived him a few days ago, and now signing him directly to the 53-man roster. We also brought in a safety on the practice squad yesterday. Now, I did not go and count how many people are on the practice squad currently. You guys can put that in the comment section, because we also brought back Pat O'Connor, the defensive end that actually got his first start for the Detroit Lions late last year, I believe it was, against the Bills. But we waived him. He cleared waivers, and he's back on the Detroit Lions practice squad. Just a little side note. Everybody, if you are 25, 30, right, you know where that song came from. It is All-Star by Smash Mouth, and it was actually the theme song for the movie Mystery Men. If you have not seen Mystery Men, it's almost 30 years old. Try to find it. As a matter of fact, 1999, 2 years after I graduated, find Mystery Men, watch it. Everything will make sense about what the Detroit Lions, how they put this roster together. Watch it, come back, let me know what you think. But the Detroit Lions brought someone in yesterday for a workout. They did not sign him, though. They wind up going in a different direction and signed a different safety. But with the injury to Kirby Joseph, and we don't know if he's going to play, but even if he does, we still might need someone that can come in for Thomas Harper, who is no doubt going to be in concussion protocol. If he plays on Sunday, I got a lot of questions about the NFL. I don't know if I've seen a concussion like that. I've seen people tense up. I've seen them seize, but I've never seen anybody jerk like their body jerk like that. It was one of the weirdest things. I'm like, there's no way that could be right. And we'll see if he should not be able to clear, but we'll see what they say. This is the individual, and it's funny because we play his former team this week, and this is, okay, it's this one. Here we go. There's the right transition. This stuff really annoys me, y'all, so you got to bear with me. We got Josh Johnson, a safety that you can see was drafted by the LA Rams. He was drafted the year after Jared Goff, so Jared Goff is familiar with this individual. 2017, third-round pick. Third-round pick is turning 30 later this month. In about 10 days, he will be 30 years old. You can see that he had very minimal stats for 2024, but he did get 1 pass defense and 1 interception and 4 solo tackles. So that's pretty good if you ask me. If you look at his stats, he played in all 16 games as a rookie, sophomore, played 6 in his 3rd season and all 16 in his 4th. Then spent 2 years with the Cleveland Browns, playing a full season once, missing 2 games the year before, and played 17 games in 2023 with the LA Rams. Now, so he also has played with Matthew Stafford. So when we brought this guy for a workout, the first thing I thought was, could this be somebody that we just bring in to get intel? But I could see not. But I'm wondering why we didn't go with him immediately. Was he injured last year? Is that why he only played 2 games? Is he coming back from an injury? And, you know, we know that our general manager, this is not a deterrent for him. Signing injured players or players recovering from injury, it's literally what he does. So I don't know why that would be a deterrent. But I did manage to find some information about him from the NFL prospects. And let's take a look at what Lance has to say, because we know that Lance does most of these prospect videos. All right, so Josh Johnson had a prospect grade, check this out, of 6.20 And again, I'm very intrigued. Maybe they didn't like his workout. He hasn't been active this year, so maybe the Lions didn't like what they saw. Will eventually be average starter. That's probably the best we're going to get. And he was drafted in the 3rd round, 27th pick. Score, go down here, ran a 40 in 4.61. And again, this is 8 years ago, so a lot of stuff can change since then. He actually has NFL experience now, a ton of it. NFL comparison is Aaron Williams. Here is what his overview was. Let me make sure I get that up so you guys can see it. Says, ascending defender with the experience, athleticism, and ball skill to play as a high safety or in man coverage. Johnson is well above average as a ball tracker and has the soft hands to finish at the catch point against receivers. He has decent size, but won't be a banger as a tackler. However, his ability in coverage has NFL personnel men buzzing as a potential early starter in the league. So let's go. That's his overview. Let's look at those strengths. And this is coming into the NFL. Make sure you guys can see it right there. Says, has starting experience as cornerback and safety, can play high safety or cover the slot. So maybe they just decided not to sign him and go with the other guy. Plays with smooth hips and above average mirror and watch footwork for the safety spot. At ease with directional changes in space, adequate instincts in coverage. Will shade his coverage from high safety based on play development and quarterback's glances. Winning ball skills with very good ball tracking and soft hands. So that's the second time we mentioned his hands, okay, that they soft, okay? Interceptions don't just come his way. He goes and gets them. Has agility to take zigzag downhill track two running backs. Bounces into run fits with lively feet and a tackle-ready base. Special team monster with 30 tackles over the last 3 seasons on cover teams. So I'm a bit intrigued as to why we didn't sign him. Again, I'm curious to know if he's coming from an injury. Maybe he's not in football shape. Maybe the Detroit Lions don't like what they saw, but he seems like he might be able to fill in for Kirby if Kirby's not ready to go, or come in for Harper, who filled in for Kirby when Kirby was out. And we don't even know if Kirby's going to play. We have no idea if he's going to play versus the Rams. I mean, at this point, we have 4 games left, and we haven't seen Kirby in the last 6 or 7 games. So at this point, I mean, if he's not going to be ready for the playoffs, you might as well put him up. So let's see what those weaknesses were coming into the league. Says, tends to take passive routes to the ball when he's the last line of defense. Leverages to the sideline while drifting backwards rather than closing downhill. Features a small delay at top of his transitions when triggering. Needs to improve physicality as a tackler. Feet deaden near the point of impact. Needs to drive through his target and finish with his feet. So those are the weaknesses that were from before he was drafted. But I want to go back and I want to look at what he was able to do, because this is interesting, that as to why we didn't go with him. I need to know if he's coming off an injury, because if you look at his stats, I mean, relatively healthy for the most part. He missed 10 games in his 3rd season. Then 2 years later, he missed 2 games and then played 2 consecutive seasons. But it's this 2024 season that I'm thinking about. But look at this. So in his career, he's got 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 15 interceptions. Basically, an interception every single year that he's been in the National Football League. So let me do this. Let me look up and see if he was injured, because John Johnson, I want to know if he was injured, because the Lions, I mean, he put in some quality time. Okay, so this could be why the Lions did not sign him, because again, he sounds like a very intriguing prospect, no pun intended. But here we go. Okay. It says NFL safety John Johnson III has been dealing with a significant shoulder injury. And it tells you since September 2024. So that would explain why it's only been 2 games, which sidelined him for most of the season and led him to being unsigned for 2025. though he made a brief playoff return with the Rams and recently visited the Detroit Lions. He's been working back to full health, but faced a 3-game suspension in 2025 and currently is a free agent, with the Lions signing another safety over him, indicating his return to play is still uncertain. So that would explain why the Detroit Lions did not go with him. Now, I don't know what they saw and what could be waiting for him in the future. Maybe down the line, he could come back in and do another workout for the Detroit Lions, but now it makes sense, so he was suspended, and they must have didn't like what they saw. They must have didn't like what they saw because they decided to go with another safety. But I'm interested to know if the Lions are going to keep him in their back pocket. Maybe they saw enough that they're just like, you know what? Maybe depending on what happens with Kirby, maybe they're still holding out to see what happens with Kirby. But of course, with no eyes and no inside information, we're not going to know. But we don't know how he looked. We know he worked out, which means that he's medically cleared to play, dealing with the suspension. So that didn't deter the Detroit Lions from bringing him in for a workout. So I don't think it would have deterred him from signing with the Detroit Lions. Got to be the injury, man. Maybe he's not fully back. Maybe they did not like what they saw, but he is indeed fully black. See, I can poke fun at myself. At least I think he is. All right. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. The question is, am I fully black? The world may never know, but I'm sure you have some ideas.